This video is sponsored by Gate.io. If you set an account up using the link in the description, you'll get 25% back on all your spot and futures fees for life. Gate.io. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at Bitcoin and a brief overview of the the situation globally. We always have a rundown of dominoes, don't we? This is the S&P on the daily, and we're still in a downtrend. There's no relief as of yet. We're waiting for relief statements, to be honest with you, to be said. We do have a short signal on this daily as well, I have to say, and we have a death cross as well, and we're below all major moving averages. And rejections 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row on that 200 simple moving average on the daily. It's not looking particularly good, I have to say. Does not look particularly good. Again, this is just the pre-market. That's just the old S&P. Futures market. Let me have a look at the real S&P. It did close, I suppose, a bit of a bounce, but it's not the greatest thing you've ever seen, to be honest with you. it's not great. This is yesterday's close. We're back within the triangle, and no divergences to speak of. Same setup as the futures market, and again pullback as expected on yesterday's video. Let's have a look at the euro. So we got that pullback from the top of the Bollinger Band. As expected. We treat these as resistances. Resistances are there to reject us, aren't they? Supports are here to support us. And we came all the way back down to that 200 exponential moving average on the daily, to which we've had decent, moves from. This one was decent. This one was decent. Is this one going to be decent? I don't know. I'll tell you why it's a little bit funny this time. If you just bear with me just a little bit. I've been taking the piss out of the ECB for a little while because a while ago, months and months ago, they said, we're just going to raise 50 basis points forever until everything's sorted. Don't worry, that's what we're going to do. And I always thought that was a silly statement, to be honest with you, especially with what's going on in Europe and all kinds of other things and all the things that you don't know what's going to happen. You can't just say a blanket statement like that. We're going to raise 50 basis points on every opportunity. You're supposed to be reactive to your own economy, right? Europe as a bloc is quite complex when you have all these different countries that all share the same currency. They've got their own individual needs, and you can't just say something like that, especially when you've got all this stuff going on in Eastern Europe, right? It's kind of a silly thing to say. So they've kind of screwed themselves in the first place just by saying that, because they've basically their credibility is down the drain, really, because you just can't say that. But what you're going to say now that places like Credit Suisse are sort of like falling through the drain, going into the sewers, they're wreck city, and that's just one. There'll be many. I had a look at just general banks yesterday. For the most part, they're all wreck city, and they will continue to go down wreck city. The US at least has brought inflation down to not an acceptable level, but a reasonable level. They can pause, can't they? Or they can even raise rates. I mean, lower rates if they wanted to. Not that I think that they will. They can do a few things because they've at least brought inflation down to 6%, whereas Europe it's still massively sky high, and now your banks have fallen apart. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to lower rates and increase your problem with inflation? What are you going to do? Or are you going to continue with your promise of 50 basis points? What is it you're going to do? What the hell are you going to do? It'll be interesting to find out. So, personally, I don't see how they can keep doing this promise of 50 basis points. They can't. They're going to have to suffer higher and higher inflation, aren't they? They're going to have to pause. And if that's the case, we're going to see turbulence in this market. We're going to see this chart here break one way or another. Again, raising of rates should increase the euro's value versus the dollar. Lowering of rates will send it plummeting to wreck city, which, in my opinion, if we see this chart fail from these levels, the 200 exponential being 105.4 wreck city FM. If we break down from there, then we go all the way down to 103.2 extra wreck city FM, and then we go to the parityradio.com. It's going to be pretty bad. And if you're already suffering inflation over in Europe, I live in Europe, already suffering inflation. Well, the next worst thing that you can deal with, other than just inflation, is going to be a wrecked currency, because that just adds to inflation, spiraling effect basically. So what are you gonna do? We'll see. Anyway, so long story short, we expected a consolidation on all markets yesterday. We got that. Oil as well, absolutely wrecked City. This is, in my opinion, at this point now, it's broken down from that 73 sideways channel. I'm on the hourly chart here, just in case there's an opportunity, really. We've been in this sideways channel for a while now, broken down now, so we're actually looking to probably start to make some new lows towards the lower 60s, which we've not seen in a long time. And we've not seen that in a long time. This is sparking, I would say, the realistic prospect of recession kicking in now, which is going to be lower demand for oil and stuff like that. But yeah, it is what it is. So let's have a look at the hero. Yeah, this is Bitcoin, the king. It's done very well, hasn't it, really? Only down a smidgen at the moment within the 24-hour period. And again, if we look at the Bollinger Band strategy, all the way from the center, all the way to the top, we talked about buying this dip, didn't we? And all the way up to the top. This is standard practice. This looks like a very healthy looking chart now, creeping above the 0 point, all on this weekly. And the main problem that we'll have is this 25,340. Breaking above there will add way more credibility to this chart long term. And people, large people, whales basically, or wannabe whales, institutional wannabe whales, will start to put money back into something like this when they see it reclaim 25,000. Not just because of the figures. It's basically it's a line in the sand, isn't it? If you want to buy into something for the long term, you want it to be above your 200 weekly moving average. If you don't want to buy, if you're afraid of something, is it below? Yes, it's below. So at the moment we are still below. If we get above that, it's going to add definitely way more credibility to the long-term projection of this chart. And that's that. We'll just call it 25,500 closures on a weekly. We'll see that sort of behavior. And I'm very much in favor of this long-term anyway, working out. It's going to be volatile as hell, but for the moment, it's looking pretty sweet. Right, what we see here is trying to reclaim the 24,400. Getting above there, again, is a decent close. You know, this is just nothing other than a massive V-shaped recovery, exactly as expected, and looking for continuation on that. We're not overheated on the daily. In fact, we're picking up momentum here on the daily, just crossing above that 0 point on the MACD. So looking to kick into a bit more upside here. The 4-hourly has been a very neat retest of this Bollinger Band center, to which we're now above all major moving averages. Golden cross as well on the exponentials. Looking very sweet, looking very nice. The consolidation at this point could be considered to be over and finished with. And now we're looking for another retest of these highs back up into the 26s, probably even today. Now remember what I said about all the other markets are going to impact this one, certainly going to have an impact on Bitcoin. You know, whatever happens with Europe, whatever happens with the S&P, whatever happens in all these other markets is going to affect this. But so far, you look at a chart like this, it's worked out pretty well. The V-shaped recovery from the simple moving average that we said, that worked out. Now we're getting a retest on the shorter term timeframes of the Bollinger Band. First opportunity to buy the dip in the form of this most recent consolidation, this last 24 to 48 hours, worked out. Fresh golden cross. And again, when we're looking at the daily, momentum kicking in more and more on MACD. So I do like it. And I actually think we're going to have another retest of that, of some of these highs, maybe back up into the 26s and see where we go from there. Altcoins, a slightly different story, unfortunately. I'm sure you've recognized they've gone to wreck City, but we can look at those on the live stream tomorrow night if you like. A lot of the time there's opportunity when you're scraping the bottom of the barrel of these wrecked altcoins, but we do have to play it safe, and we'll look at those on the stream. If you want to join the stream, links in the description below for my Patreon. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.